That is a blinding record, and before that, Rick, what do you make of those adverts? They were great, weren't they?
I like them, yeah. I'm gonna buy all them products on the way home.
And that's endorsed by Ricky Gervais. He's won awards.
Yeah.
Rick, do you remember this? This was a hilarious one. No, you'll remember this when you hear it. It was when Karl said something that was basic. Well, I think for a lot of people it sounded like a lot of old bollocks.
What have we got now?
Right, so we're looking into animals that we get rid of. I've spoken to someone about snails, I spoke to someone about jellyfish, and that. I'm looking at cockroaches today.
She's an expert, she's just not just some random person.
No, she works in a museum, a good museum. I said I'd give it a plug. It's the one near Knightsbridge. It's got dinosaurs and that in it, it's worth seeing.
And that's the History Museum?
Yeah. So,
not sure. He's not sure.
This is what happened. Now, what I'll do, I'll tell you as much as I know, and then you can fill me in if I'm right or wrong. And then at the end of it, we'll get to the bottom of whether we need them or not.
Okay.
All right. So first of all, the first thing that I found out is that they have 18 knees.
That's not exactly possible. They're insects, so they have 6 legs.
Yeah.
And a knee is usually the junction between femur and tibia. That's sort of classic human knees and every other animal knee. So with 6 legs, you can only have 6 knees.
Could somebody sort of got mistaken for seeing one that was a bit double jointed?
I think you're grasping at straws or something.
Alright, well, we might have to come back to that one then.
Okay.
They can hold the breath for 40 minutes.
Well, they don't do that, because they don't breathe in the same way as us. They breathe through little spiracles, holes down the side of the body, so, no. They're not a very apt simile, because the method of breathing is so different.
What do you mean?
Because insects have a totally different system. They don't have lungs in the way that we do, and just breathing through one part of the body. They're actually breathing through every segment of the body all of the time.
So even though they've got their mouth shut, they might be able to slide.
Nothing to do with breathing.
So
only feeding.
So you see, maybe that's where someone's gone wrong. Someone's got hold of one and sort of taped its mouth up or something and got bored after 40 minutes and said, well, we'll call it right.
It's a unkind thing to do to an insect, even to a cockroach.
Yeah, but it's all...
You can't do that.
Yeah, but...
No. Pretty unkind thing to do to anything, even a cockroach.
Something else I found out.
Yeah.
They can live for a week without an head.
Well, that's true if they don't bleed to death in process.
But the weird thing is, when I told you that they had 18 knees, you seemed a bit sort of like, don't talk ridiculous. But then we're talking about an animal that can live without an head. So there's a little bit of truth in that one, yeah?
Yes.
Why, when it was invented, has it got that facility? Say if someone said to humans, we could do that with humans, and, you know, if you lose your head in some accident, it gives you a bit of time to sort of go back to your family and maybe write them a note. You won't be able to have a chat, but write them a note saying, it was my own fault, and it was nice knowing you.
Oh, well, that would be a useful facility, I agree, but cockroaches are great survivors. I mean, they've been around for over 300 million years. They're one of the most primitive insects.
Right. Well, I've also, is it true that they do a lot of resting? Apparently they can sort of rest for 75% of the time.
Rest?
Yeah, they just sit about doing nothing.
It's probably true of a vast proportion of the world's fauna. Well,
I mean, maybe the 25% that they are working, they're really giving it some, so it might make up.
They're probably searching out food, and yeah, they can slow down considerably. You can chill insects in the fridge, and they'll become very, very quiet. You might think they're dead.
Yeah, but I'm sure, you know, if we were sat in a fridge, you know, we'd go a bit quiet, wouldn't we? You know.
Well, you might not know much about it, of course.
Yeah, but...
You're not quite reading the right sources.
Well, I've been using the internet.
I'm sure there are many useful sources that you could find there, but some of those seem to have been a little misleading to you.
So you don't agree with a lot of what I've told you there?
No.
So, cockroaches, can we get rid of them?
No.
So we're keeping them then?
I would say so, yes.
think we should get her on more often because she sounds like she'd be a bit of an ally, really. Because she knew immediately that you were talking nonsense. She even said, I think you should be more concerned about your sources, which I've been trying to tell you for a year, right? The fact, I mean 18 knees, where did you get that from?
It was on the internet.
They can hold their breath for 40 minutes. I mean, I don't know what you read and take on.
Mad world, don't it?
Is actually in a little booth. We're not in the studio, you see. This is pre-recorded. We recorded this last week because we're away, and it's sort of like the best of the last 3 weeks since last time we were away when we put out the best of. Okay, what's the next one? What's the educating wiki?
I don't know. See, like I say, I was looking around, and there's stuff that is interesting. Right, I was looking on the web,
but there's no point.
Well, it's just that I found one about.
What's the point?
About a lad who 8 years old,
yeah.
but he's still breastfed. Now, I don't know if you can get anything out of that.
Is that what his mum said?
So,
what do you mean I don't know if I can get anything out of that? You don't need to.
No, it's just that, you know...
Where did you read that?
That was on the internet.
Oh, well, yeah.
You're always unspecific when you mention it. It's just it was on the internet.
Well, I'm trying to think what I put in. I think I put in Y to see if I'd confuse a computer. And then,
go! You are...
No,
honestly.
I did a search, put in Y, and it came up with funny things that, like, why is this person doing that? Why is that? And it had a picture of this 8-year-old lad, sort of, you know, on his mum's nipple. And, it was saying, you know, is this healthy?
You sure that wasn't asking you that question?
What? I put in Y to confuse the computer. Like, go, what do you mean? Yeah. Stop it!
Yeah.
Oh, look, yeah. Last week, I was walking, home with him, and I went, he was saying something stupid, and I went, I've got a competition for next week. Let's do a phone-in, and it's called Karl Pilkington, Genius or Fool.
Yeah.
Right? And he went, No. I went, why not? He went, well, it'd be confusing because they say there's no difference between genius and being a fool.
You do that, don't you?
No, but it's rubbish, and people say there's a fine line between madness and genius, and, you know, it's a ridiculous soundbite. They don't say there's a fine line between a genius and an idiot.
Well, the people who do are idiots.
Yeah.
So what would you do there, though, just to sort of wrap that little thing up? What would you do? That lad loves his mum's milk.
What are you asking me to come up with?
No, I'm just...
A title for the story?
No, it's just what would you do? Right?
What do you mean, what would I do?
Well, it's causing a bit of a problem in the area, right?
What area?
In America, I think it was.
Oh, America are a problem, are they? George Bush is worried about this kid who's breastfeeding at 8.
Imagine it like this, right?
Right. No, so Carl, what are you asking me? About this spurious story you saw on the internet?
I saw it on the internet. There's an 8-year-old lad, he likes his mum's milk, and it's saying, is this right? Should it
No, it's not. But what do you want Ricky to do about it? It's not his responsibility. Yeah.
No, but the little town that he lives in, they're all causing an uproar, right? Going, this isn't right, you know, I can't let my kid play out in case he's in the garden with his mum getting a bit hungry, right? So, what should they do? Because his mum's saying, well, he likes it.
Yeah.
And he, you know, so what do you do?
I don't know the laws.
No, but I'm not asking you to sort out the laws. I'm just saying, if you lived in that neighbourhood, what would you say? If you went up to him and said, look, everyone's getting a bit fed up with this, look.
I'd say, what would I do? What do you mean, what would I do? What are you asking me?
Right, it doesn't matter.
No, what are you asking me? What are you asking me and Steve and the public?
I'm just saying, say if you live next door to this woman.
Yeah.
Right? The kid's hungry, 8 years old, he's out playing on his bike and he goes, Mum, I'm getting a bit peckish, and he goes, alright son. She whops one out. And he starts having his milk, right? You live next door, you're putting your washing out, and you see this going on. You're getting a bit sick of it, because it's gone on for months.
8 years, I suppose.
Why is it your business? Why are you such a nosy neighbour that you're concerned?
What would you do, Carl? Let's turn it back on him.
Yeah.
What would you do?
What's your solution?
What would you do?
Well, I thought I'd say, right, why are you doing this? And she'd say, because he likes it. And I go, all right then, put it in a bowl first.
And you think that would sort that out?
No, because I was thinking about the whole thing, right, and you do that when you're a baby, and everything's alright, innit?
Yeah.
No one bats an eyelid at a little baby having a bit of milk from its mum's breast, right?
Yeah.
You'd almost say it was natural.
But you grow out of it. It's like, you don't see. It got me thinking about things you don't see. And you don't see.
Did you put this into a computer? Show me things you don't see.
What else don't you see?
Well, you don't see, like, an old man having a Twix. You never... So what?
You know the terrible thing about all this, Steve, is he's right.
You don't see it.
No, I know, that's a terrible thing.
So what they have got, right, they've made old man toffees, haven't they? They've come up with Werther's.
Is that a song? Oh God! You don't see it.
So they've got their Werther's, right?
Yeah. Look at him! You think he's giving a lecture at Oxford?
It's not going anywhere.
No, go on, sorry. Go on.
I'm just saying...
Right.
You grow out of things.
Yeah.
And the old man, I'm sure when he was a kid, he'd have a Twix.
Yeah.
Now it doesn't look right, so he's having...
It doesn't look right!
So...
Right.
I don't think Werther's originals were specially designed for old people. I think they were sweets that just happened to have been made for years. That's why old people eat them.
Yeah.
They didn't go, hang on, there's a market here. I've noticed old people aren't eating Twixes. Quick, let's make some old man sweets.
But the little advert, he gives it to his grandson as well, doesn't he? He goes, I have a Werther's original.
Oh, I think it cuts though before he throws it back in his face and get me a Twix.
FM 104.9, we're not here.
It is a bit like being Dennis Norden, playing some great moments from the show.
I was just imagining Dennis Norden one day, sort of just like waking up out of his stupor, he's doing this, and he'd go into the producer and go, I've just seen a couple of my programmes.
I just saw It'll Be Right on the Night 18.
It's shit.
It's terrible.
Why didn't someone tell me? Well, we didn't want to upset you, because, you know. But I've been doing it way too long. Well, you could just let me go on forever. Well, until you died, yeah. Well, why can't my son take over? Well, he's 80, Dennis.
And the jokes I'm doing, they're awful.
They're just, why have I got that clipboard?
I've written these shows, they're not funny. There's an audience, they're laughing. What are they laughing
They're not
at?
laughing, they're not laughing, that's canned laughter.
Who are those audience? Who goes to an audience for It'll Be Right on the Night?
A lot of them are older than you.
It can't be right.
You know, we have a 15% fatality in one of your audiences.
But I went home at Christmas, I watched one of the episodes, it was with my family and friends, I said, watch this, you'll love it. Stony face, no one laughed, they all thought it was
Well, it is
Well, why didn't you tell me earlier?
I didn't want to hurt your feelings, you're an old man. You may be upward of 102.
I didn't realise.
Yeah.
Here's a problem that someone's emailed in. We're taking emails today. If you've got a problem, a concern, or, you know, just a general query that you think Karl could answer for you. It could be about anything. It could be about some of the big kind of philosophical questions.
Yeah.
It could be you know, something to do with war or famine, anything like that. Or it could just be a personal dilemma, you know, something that's happening locally. Anyway, this seems one that I think you probably have... You and your father have probably come across this sort of dilemma in the past, and I'd be interested to know what your take is on it. Let me see, this is from Lee Matthews by the look of it. He says, he lives in a suburban area where the local teenagers also live on the same road, and they're running riot. They're smashing wing mirrors off the cars, they're crashing into parked cars on their skateboards, they're just generally making mayhem, you know, night and day. What can he do to stop this going on? The parents of the kids don't seem to give a damn. Anyone who complains to them, they just say, oh, piss off. You know, the police are useless because they never catch them in the actual act of violence, which is what they got to do to apparently convict them. So they don't know who to turn to, really. It's rather like when a little old lady went and got the A-team, you know.
You know, and he was dressed as an elderly Chinaman.
Exactly.
She knew who he was. Colonel Decker didn't have a clue.
Yeah.
You see, it's weird because now it has got out of hand. Do you know what I mean? Like years ago when I was growing up on the estate, yeah, you had problems, but not like you have now. Do you know what I mean? You know,
Stammers were nice as well, weren't they?
Well, right. And
police are getting shorter, and
but you yourself kind of admitted in the past that you were something of a tearaway. You didn't do anything like these kids
I mean,
here.
the thing is, I was scared that if I got caught doing it, my dad would go mad.
Yes.
and I remember smashing a car window by accident and legging it in the lounge and sort of pretending to go asleep on the settee. Right?
Genius.
And I heard a knock at the door.
Chloroformed himself, just to be unconscious when his dad came home.
And there was a knock on the door, and I thought, oh god, this is the fella who saw me. I was chucking a stone in the air, so you know, when I could throw it.
Of course you were. Did it keep landing on your head? That would explain a lot.
And it came down.
Chucking a stone in the air, love
To
it!
see how far I could
It's
throw it.
brilliant.
So, you know, I wasn't bothering anyone.
Did you
by
invent that game?
that, right?
Did you get the stone for your birthday? Go and play with your stone.
He gave one to Suzanne.
Carl, go and play with your stone.
The thing is, right, and it came down at a funny angle, and
Of course it did.
It ate the back of this car, and the back window is the most expensive because it has that heating thing in it,
Yeah.
in case you got a frosty window.
Yeah.
So I thought, oh god. So I legged it in, got on the settee, went to sleep, knocked at the door.
Genius. It's a brilliant plan. It's a brilliant plan. I couldn't be guilty. I'm asleep.
So
I love the idea.
So the thing is, our lounge used to sort of, you could see in from the door, right? So this family who saw me do it, saw me asleep on the settee, and my mum said, go and get the door, and I sort of went, oh, as if I'd been asleep, and went to the door, like, rubbing my eyes, and the fella said, what did you run off for? I saw you. I was like, oh no. And I didn't see my dad. I went out. It was when he was working sort of evenings, so I went out so I didn't have to see my dad. And then the next day I came home from school, and my dad said, 45 quid.
Oof.
That's all he said.
That's all
when
he
he
said.
looked at me.
And then you fell asleep when he went, wake up. You know what I said? No, 45 quid.
Now the thing
Carl.
is, he didn't have to do anything.
£45, Carl. Now, I know you were saving up for a brick, but you can't have it. Yeah.
Just
So,
Equally, if you're doing a bigger crime, you know,
Yeah.
a bank job or
Yeah.
a murder.
Remember to take the stocking off your head, because they wake you up and go, why have you got a stocking on your head? Just go, oh, I had a weird dream.
Right.
Okay, look, a quick query for you. This is from Jay. He's got a problem here. He says, my parents won't let me ditch my studies. He's currently reading modern languages at London University.
Sure.
He wants to follow his dream, but his parents won't let him, of being a dancer. Carl. Worse than that, he says that they're trying to arrange a marriage to a bunch of minging daughters of people they know from good families. He doesn't know what to do, so he's got the arranged marriage coming along, and he's also got, you know, he basically wants to be a dancer. His parents are forcing him into something more
Well,
practical.
the first thing, right, I don't think
Live your dreams?
the arranged marriage thing is such a bad idea.
Okay.
Because I think too many people go on looks,
Right.
and then you soon get bored of that, and you find out the person who you're knocking about with, it's actually not your type.
Right.
Why don't you arrange marriages for people?
Well, I'm just saying, right, so I'd say, Jay, go along with that. I wouldn't worry about it.
Okay.
I mean, if they're really ugly, then, you know, don't go along with it, but if they're half bad,
Yeah.
put up with it, that's
Sure.
all right. The dancing,
Brilliant.
right,
That's that solved.
Brilliant.
I wanted to be a dancer. After I did the boxing, right, I joined a dancing thing just near Man United's ground, right, called Twiggy's. Went along, I wanted to learn some moves.
How old were you?
Well, it was when Michael Jackson was, like, pretty big, so about 83, 84, 85, something like that, around there. Wanted to do it. When I went, it was shut, and it had become like a warehouse for toilet rolls. So in a way, I wonder what would have happened.
Sorry, how is that an anecdote about you going through dancing? You've told me before, you did boxing for a while, you did dancing for a while. You had the true fight in the boxing, you didn't even get in the that's not an imagine if that was a film! This is a boy's dream of becoming a dancer. Oh, it's shut. Next on. I mean, how is that a story?
Yeah, that was Billy Elliot. Do you think it would have won quite as many awards?
Yeah, brilliant. Footloose. Alright?
Yeah.
I'm fed up they banned it. Let's go. Oh, it's shut. Flash dance. First, there was... it's a warehouse. Never mind.
I'm just saying, you know, you'll find something else. I think I got a go-kart after that. I bought a motorised go-kart and kept myself busy with that. So... There's always other
Just
things.
think, Alan Bennett has to sit down and really sweat over his stories.
Yeah.
He just opens his mouth.
You are a living Alan Bennett character.
So that's
So that's solved. Well, Jay, don't worry about that. There's no emotional problems I can foresee. If you follow that advice.
So the advice there is do an arranged marriage.
If she's not ugly.
minging,
Yeah.
she's not completely minging.
Yeah.
And don't worry about dancing. Get a go-kart. Cheers. This is XFM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais with me, Stephen Merchant.
Hello.
You're listening to the best of basically Karl Pilkington. You don't talk to anyone, do you, in the week? You just hide in your little sound booth thing, and you really don't talk to anyone, do you? Much?
Not really.
No.
I mean, you know, you might call up.
Yeah.
But no, I keep myself to myself.
Yeah.
Then you don't get bogged down in the office politics and stuff.
Yeah. Is there a lot of office politics here?
I don't know. I don't get involved in it.
Oh, yeah. Proved your point.
So when, we're away and we're, like, out of action, who, other than Suzanne, who will you talk to of the day?
How will you get a sort of, feedback from the world? How will you get sort of, like, input and...
I always, if ever I've got, like, a question on anything, the internet's out there and I can just go online and find out.
The internet is good.
It's brilliant.
But it's not all verified.
It's not all necessarily factually accurate.
Anyone can put things onto the internet. It's the, you know, it's freaks and things that put on things like...
Here's one that I read in the week, right?
One.
About this woman.
Yeah.
She was a bit of a punk. And, to get her hair done like she wanted it.
Super glue.
Right, no. She got lard. Apparently it's a popular thing, you might know. Put lard on your head.
Yeah.
And you put it in the oven. Now, apparently the heat that you get from the oven is different from the sort of heat you get from an hairdryer. Right? And she had to do that to get the style that she wanted. But anyway, she comes into money or whatever, treats herself to a microwave. Right?
It's not true.
Opens the door, jams the things, you know, like the little catch. So the microwave works. She jams it with a screwdriver or a knife or something.
Yeah.
Puts the microwave on, sticks her head in, boils her brain.
Don't be ridiculous.
Right? Well, why is that ridiculous?
Boils her brain.
She boiled her brain.
She boiled her brain.
And this is what's good about the internet. I went straight from that, and there was a subject about brains. And do you know that Russell Crowe, when he dies, is giving his brain to charity or something, some sort of... some people who can do stuff with it.
She gave hers to Pot Noodle.
Vesta.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
boiling a skull.
Yeah.
That's not true. No.
It's not true, Carl. Just urban myths. Someone made it up.
Yeah.
For a laugh.
They're just too convenient urban myths. Everyone said, you can tell an urban myth's not true again, because it's always, this happened to a mate of mine, and when you say what happened then, they go, don't know, that was it. Was it? Was that it? Was it? Someone boiled a brain and that was it. There was no more story.
Well,
were there any dates, locations, times?
I think it was in Belgium.
There's that one that a bloke, right, was gonna get a phone call at 4 o'clock to find out if his business was, you know, okay, right? And if he didn't get the phone call, he knew he was broke, destitute. So, then on 4 o'clock, the phone didn't ring, so he went up to the roof, his office, and he jumped off to commit suicide. And as he was passing his window, the phone was ringing.
Oh, no.
Carl, it didn't happen.
Didn't happen.
Think it through.
Think it through. Who told that story? Who told that story? As he hit the pavement at 120 miles an hour.
He's the only person who could have known that series of incidents.
Also, why didn't he wait? As his life's at stake, why didn't he wait till 5 past? I said I'm gonna give it 5 minutes just in case.
In case the lines are busy.
Yeah. And what sort of bloke goes, I'll call you at 4, okay, if your business, well, call me anyway. No. If I don't call exactly 4, then, no, you commit suicide. Commit suicide. I would, because if I don't call at 4, that's the end of it. Well, call me anyway. No, that's not the way I work. Why can't you just call me and tell me the other way? Well, I'm telling you how I do it. If you're bust, I don't call. Can't you just call to verify in case something goes wrong? What if it's engaged? It won't be engaged. Just commit suicide at 4, please. It didn't happen, Carl. The other one, right? A bloke, right? He's on a train station, and I'll tell you how I heard it. He's waiting for a cruise station, waiting for, and he shits himself. As you do. And so he goes, oh, my train's in 5 minutes, so he runs across to Millets and goes, quick, Levi's, 36. The bloke just puts it in a bag, he runs onto the train, he goes into the toilet, takes his, trousers and pants off.
He's soiled.
Yes. Throws them out of the window. I won't be needing those again. Cleans himself off, open the bags, it's a jacket.
Oh.
No, it didn't happen, Carl! at what point did he go into it and go, quick, Levi's 36, and the bloke went, sorry, Levi's 36, what, a pair? No, shall I wrap them? Them? It? Shall I wrap? Just wrap whatever it is. Do you want to look? No, I'm not looking when you're putting it in the bag, please. Right? 36 white stories. Don't say anything.
I've told you 36 Levi's. I put it in a bag and charged me for it.
Yeah.
I don't want to discuss it further.
Yeah.
There's one,
there we go.
There's one about a woman whose husband died, and she had him cremated.
Yeah.
And made like a little egg timer out of him. And she said, I did that so it can still help around the kitchen.
Well, that might be true. That might be a joke.
That's quite sweet.
That might be true.
That is a true story, again. It was all...
No, not again, because the ones I just told weren't. Nor is the boiling the brains in a bag curry microwave
head story true.
Yeah. That's all. I'd like to play a beautiful song now by Cat Stevens called To Kick Off the Show, Steve.
Absolutely.
The Ricky Gervais Show with Steve Merchant.
Hello there.
And Claire Sturgis.
Hello, boys.
Carl's ill. Well, he's not here. I mean, I never believe people when they're ill. I think they're always malingering. I never take any days off work. I just think you can drag yourself in unless it's life-threatening or...
To be fair, Rick, can I just stop you there? It's not so much that you take days off as you'll just suddenly decide around lunchtime that you've overeaten and you need to go and lie down.
But I'm my own
with
boss.
a cold compress.
Yeah,
in
but
a
I'm my
Swedish
own...
masseuse.
I'm my own boss.
Yeah. So it's not so much you take days off. It's not so much you take days off as you never actually do a full day's work.
Yeah,
you actually prevent that.
I never take that hour and a half off a day.
Exactly.
XFM 104.9.
So what's the story, Claire? Do you know anything about Karl? Do you know what his illness is?
I think he's got this sort of cold virus that's going around. He phoned me yesterday. He did sound poorly in his defence.
Poorly?
Croaky.
Well, I'll tell you what.
He coughed a bit.
I'm not being funny. He better be in hospital.
To miss this show.
To miss this show. Flagship show of the week on XFM.
Do you know, you are right, because, and you've been away, haven't you? You know,
been away 2 weeks. We had the best of again. But let's start at the best of.
Yeah.
Let's start at the best of the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Shall we?
Yeah.
I mean, we're going to try and get him on the phone. We're going to phone him, and I want him to really explain himself because, you know, I think he's malingering, to be honest.
Well, he phoned me in the week and he said, Steve, don't forget, there's a documentary on Friday night about Oliver the humanzi, the human monkey. He said to me, it's gonna be brilliant.
And it wasn't.
And it wasn't brilliant.
It was.
I've specially stayed in and watched it.
I taped it and watched it afterwards, and I've never seen so much hype and desperation. They kept showing the same clip of this chimpanzee that walked upright like a lot of chimps can.
Exactly,
right?
yeah.
It lost its hair, so it was half human, because all humans are bald.
Yeah.
So that's the half human bit. It didn't have hair. I'm sorry, humans do have hair on their heads.
Yes.
The other thing was, this desperation to go, could it be half chimp? No. It's a chimp that superficially looks less like a chimp than other chimps. So, Lee Evans looks a bit like a chimp. Is he half chimp, half human? No, he's a human who looks a bit like a chimp. That's libelous.
Yeah.
That's a bit insulting, isn't it?
Have you
Should we
there.
just play some music?
Yeah, I'm really sorry about that.
I'll get back to you on that. Actually, can I tell you a Coldplay coming in a couple of weeks' time to co-host Zoe Ball's show?
Right, 1, don't ever interrupt me. 2, don't tell them about other people's shows.
No.
Okay, moving on, thank you.
Please do not mention that there are any other television celebrities on this channel, on this station. We are trying to convince people it's only Ricky.
But the interruption was the main thing.
Sorry.
Well, we can't get hold of Karl, right? We looked, it's got his old number out there.
His home number?
Yeah, it's a hold on. So, we went to the new records. He hasn't even given him this new home number, so something's funny going on. He doesn't want to be contacted. He hasn't given me his home number. I've tracked down a friend who's looking it for us. That phone might ring any moment. I apologise for that. But why is Karl not available?
It's interesting that neither you or I, and I like to think of ourselves as being fairly close friends of Karl.
Yeah.
We have made him the man he is today. We cannot get in touch with him.
In the same way that bloke bought Oliver.
Sure.
I think that Karl is now ours.
Yeah, exactly. Well, exactly. I think very much that's true, yeah.
Yeah.
Karl is very much like a humanzi.
If we're going to lose contact with him and find him 5 years in a circus in Manchester.
Exactly, they're doing experiments on him.
Yeah, and they go,
we can't figure him out.
Yeah. Well, there's something wrong with his
looks like a human,
he acts like because usually humans stand upright.
Yeah.
And Karl likes to walk on all fours whenever he can.
Yeah. He's not interested in other human women, he's only interested in apes.
Yeah. It
doesn't make sense.
Oh my god. And he's bald.
He is bald.
oh look, there's as much evidence for Karl being a humanzee as Oliver. Yeah. I think there's more. And,
well, Karl barely walks upright.
I know.
Scared of fire.
Yeah. I know. It is interesting, isn't it? Oliver was built, wasn't he?
Yeah.
I don't know. Why were you looking, Rick? I'm interested that you I couldn't, what, your eyes were kind of uncontrollably, drawn
Steve,
towards
they were just there.
No, I didn't see anything. I was just looking at his face.
No,
sorry, Rick, but if there's something you want to get off your chest.
Yeah, and that was the human part of it then, was it? Being built like that? Because that's humans, but...
Yeah.
Although Karl's is very tiny and hidden behind. And I've noticed something else as well. He's got a big red arse.
That's true.
Hasn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, it's all beginning to slot into place.
And I've seen him climb up a cabinet and eat a banana as well. Just over lunchtime.
And peel it with his toes.
It's all coming together.
Yeah.
Right, we're gonna track him down, because he's malingering. He's definitely I'll tell you what, he's at home now, in the garden, swinging on his tyre. He's not ill.
I think more truthfully, someone said to me, that I said Karl might be ill, they said, right, are you not gonna do the radio show then?
Well, that's what annoys me.
I mean, that's the biggest problem, is that, let's be honest, we haven't got anything without Karl.
All we've got is the hook. People are staying listening, because eventually they think we might get through to him at home.
Yeah.
And there'll be fun on this show to be had.
If we don't get in touch with Karl, I think we may as well just shoot off and leave Claire to do the show.
I've got some great music. Is that not a...
Well, it's a small...
You could leave the music with me. I could just play
it. It's not when you reach
that is true, isn't it? Okay, well, play some great music now,
play a great tune.
Okay, wedding present, Steve.
Yeah, I'll explain what it is afterwards. Just play it. It's a joy. It's a Monday Sunday. That's from this new compilation of those... remember they brought out a load of 7 inches?
Of course I do. Of course I do. Of course I do. It was my favourite day.
Yeah, absolutely. And on the B, do you remember on the B-side of each one there was a cover of a different song?
Steve, I even played the B-side of each one and listened to the song. The connection there that we're talking about was, of course, it was by the Monkeys.
Indeed.
Indeed. Yeah. They turned up in yesterday's episode, didn't they?
A lot of people, I'm sure, won't have seen this documentary. It was on Channel 5 after all. So I always feel like we should remind people that what we're actually talking about. If we just happen to mention Oliver, a lot of people don't know what that means.
Yeah.
If we explain that it is the primate version of Karl.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
the sort of shorthand, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah. But they were on a the
humanzee.
The humanzee. He was on a Japanese TV show. They were doing experiments on him to find out if he was half human, and the monkeys happened to be there.
Yeah.
Nicky Dolenz saying, I'm quite interested to find out because, I'm a monkey. One of the monkeys.
Excellent.
It was absolutely bizarre. Of course, we've been off jetting around the world, Claire. I don't know. I don't want to boast. I'm sure you don't want to boast either.
Karl told me you'd been off, off to the States.
Yeah, that was the reason we weren't here the last couple of weeks, that we went to Los Angeles.
Business or pleasure? It
was a little bit of business, a little bit of pleasure. I like to combine the two.
Nice.
It was, we were, meeting, a company about doing The Office for America.
Actually redoing it?
Yeah, not redoing it with or any of the cast, but with American actors.
American actors do it, yeah.
But the thing was, they were flying us over. It was like the whole business class trip, spending a little bit of money. And,
Virgin Upper Class, actually.
Virgin Upper Class.
I'd like to recommend that. Excellent. It's brilliant.
Very good service.
Definitely get free flights now.
Easy.
Yeah, definitely.
Easy.
Brilliant, yeah.
Richard Branson, lovely bloke, and I love Tubular Bells.
I don't think he owns it anymore.
Does he not?
But he's still a lovely bloke.
Guy.
He's still a good, what does he own? He must own something we can get.
Oh, does he involve with Virgin Records anymore?
Wouldn't have thought so.
No, V2.
Well,
what does he do?
V2 and Virgin V.
What's that?
Right.
Virgin V's some
Is that
beauty products or
Brilliant.
something.
What
about
Virgin underwear?
Brilliant. Whatever.
Yeah, give us some of that. Give us some of that, Branson. Give us some of that.
But I was going to New York before going on to Los Angeles, where all the news was, just for a little, just meet some friends over in New York. And, it's amazing, because Virgin Business Class, they pick you up in a sort of chauffeur-driven car, they drive you down, there's no you don't have to check in with all the wish.
Virgin Upper Class, it's like,
Yeah. It's, you don't need to sort of queue up with the great unwashed, with screaming kids, with ordinary people. Basically, they just send your information ahead to the airport, and you just drive through, a kind of drive-through McDonald's-style check-in, they take your bag, they check your passport, boom, they drop you at the executive lounge, where there are, I swear to God, lovely free plums. I had 2 lovely juicy free plums in the executive. I haven't eaten plums for years.
He forgets the bloke's name, but he had lovely juicy free plums, alright? That's the sort of wit that I'm capable of. I heard the word
he is
plum.
Flying first class
to America. He meant sucking them
comedy.
through. I transposed the whole thing, so suddenly he was sucking on a man's testicles who he'd never met before.
Exactly.
For money.
Exactly.
That's the sort of things I'm capable of.
Which is only half true. So he's used his comedy mind.
No money involved.
That is why he was being jetted off to America to talk comedy. That is the kind of quality.
But it was great. It was a really lovely flight. It was a lovely car, luxury car, and the flight. It was like the advert. They've got those beds that sort of just
the seats kind of recline, so it's almost
and you got anything you want as much. And I was sort of like I was falling asleep, and I sort of woke up, and one of the air assistants was like covering me with a blanket. It was like the advert. It was just brilliant. All the lights came down.
And comes around and says, "Do you want a massage during the flight?" You can have
as much drinks, although you can't drink, you have a drink and then you fall asleep because it's so comfortable and they take the lights. So anyway, it's brilliant.
I can't believe my luck. So I'm driving down, I get to the airport in my chauffeur-driven car, right, I'm sat there, I'm phoning people, my mum and dad, you never believe what I'm off to. Just said, I'm just in a car, just chauffeur-driven car. And I get to the airport and you just hand your passport through the window of this car to this little woman who comes over. And I'm just there, I'm just sort of buzzing the window down, handing it to her, buzzing it back up, like I don't want to talk, check the passport, take my luggage, I don't want to discuss things. You know who I am. And she hands the passport back through the window, she says, "It's expired." I went, what do you mean? She went, "It's expired." I said, "It's business class, what can you do? Can you do anything?" And she went, "No, we can send you to America, but 8 hours later you'll have to just turn around and come back. They won't let you through immigration." I was like, "What am I gonna do? I gotta go to Los Angeles and talk about, like, the office and that." And she said, "Well, it's up to you." So, the chauffeur-driven car drove me straight to the passport office down in sort of Victoria, which I have to say.
Back into town.
So I had to come back into town. I didn't get on a plane. I'm wearing my suit because I thought I'd wear the suit so I look like a real player. So I'm wearing my suit.
I love the fact that you wore a suit. I wore a tracksuit because I thought I don't need to get upgraded. I'm first class.
Exactly.
I wanted to go on in my pants and slippers, but you know,
wasn't that why she covered you with a blanket at one point? But, so they tell me about down to, the passport. I don't know if you've had to go down and get your passport changed, but they treat you like you are an illegal immigrant, sneaking into the country. I'm wearing a suit, I've got luggage, you know, I'm clearly a dignified kind of guy, that's obvious. I'm speaking with a certain eloquence, I've got certain powers. I've just been working on it in the car.
Oh, right, okay.
And, and they said you've got to come back that night, so I had to come back, I had to get my passport photos done, I had to buy a sandwich, I had enough change for the machine, because it was an absolute nightmare. I began the day in a chauffeur-driven car on my way to Los Angeles to discuss business with Universal Television Pictures, and I ended the day on the tube in a suit with my luggage, stood next to one of the posters advertising this radio show, which was just embarrassing because people kept pointing and staring and laughing.
He called me, like they said, "Rick, I've really much like." I go on. He went, "My passport expired." I went, "Oh, so what are you going to do?" He said, right, I quote, he went, "I didn't know passports expired."
Yeah.
I went, "What do you mean?" He went, "Well, your driving licence doesn't." I went, "What are you talking about?" He said, "How old do you have to be to know that?" He said, "When will I know all these things?"
Yeah.
When will I know all these things?
I want to just come and hug you.
But do you know what I mean? Did you know that? Did you genuinely know that your passport expired?
I did, because my passport expired
because she's alive.
years ago.
Because she's alive in the world.
There is so much stuff that I don't know because I don't think I've reached a certain age yet. I remember you walking down the street once and you said there were some roadworks, and you said they're probably doing those roadworks because it's the end of the financial year and they've got to spend their money. I thought, well, how do you know that information?
I just tell you.
Yeah, exactly.
But I don't talk to cabs. I'm in chauffeur-driven cars. I put the little window up so they don't talk to me.
How old are you?
28.
Are you old enough yet to help a long-distance lorry driver back into a car park?
Definitely not.
Oh, you're an idiot. Play a record.
And I'm
Oasis, Supersonic on XFM 104.9, Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, Claire Sturgis, standing in for Karl. Where is Karl? Where is Karl?
So we've failed to get in touch with him at home.
Well, look, he doesn't want to be contacted. He's turned every phone off. He hasn't given the XFM his new home phone number. He doesn't want to be contacted. I can't believe he's not listening, to be honest.
So you think he's listening now?
Yeah, he listened in Manchester. If he's not listening, he's out and about. I mean, has anyone spotted Karl?
What's your message to him, Rick, if he's listening?
Call up.
Anything else more sort of...
Call up or you're fired.
Okay. Any bad language you want to use? Obviously you can't really swear.
I can't really say it.
What sort of words? I mean, the F word, would you say?
I'd say the F word. I'd call him a twat,
Would you use the P word? I'm thinking of prick.
Prick, yeah. Definitely use that. Not on air, but I'd call him a stupid little prick.
Would you just say you're a tit?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Little,
Alright.
little, you stupid little bag of tits, I'd say to him. Not, I mean, privately.
What about the MF word? Because that's pretty intense, that's pretty hardcore. Do you think that this is not appropriate now? Do you think that would be too extreme?
I'm worried if I use that, and he was genuinely ill,
Sure.
I'd feel a bit of a
C word.
Cock, sure. Yeah.
Oh, cock.
Yeah.
'Cause I wasn't thinking of that C word.
I mean a male bird.
Sure, because we've got in trouble with that before.
Meaning penis, and we don't mean that.
Yeah, we don't mean penis.
But if anyone out there, sorry about that, there was a discussion about bad language, we weren't actually using it, but if any of you out there do see the little twat, get him to call XFM immediately.
Yeah, and likewise, if you're listening, Carl, you cheeky MF, well, you sexy MF, as Prince once said, give us a ring, because we'd love to talk to you. We just want to find out how you are.
Just call in, and we know you're listening. Little Amy Man, Red Vines.
Brilliant.
Lovely track. On XFM 104.9, Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, Claire Sturgis, in for Karl Pilkington, little... He hasn't called.
He may be really ill, I'm feeling a bit guilty.
How ill is he, though? I mean, do you know what I mean? How ill have you got to be be able to make a phone call?
Yeah.
I find that hard
I've got
believe.
sore bottom, and I made it in.
Keep talking.
I pulled a muscle in the bum.
How?
I don't know. And it really hurts.
Have you tried to trace back through the week and figure out what may happen?
I went to see the osteopath yesterday.
Uh-huh.
He put an elbow in it for half an hour. I cried. Yeah.
Is it? Oh, they got detachable elbows for that. Prosthetic elbows.
Prosthetic elbows. Just hold this elbow in there for 2 hours and,
yeah. Can I take that away? You can take that away, though. I won't be needing that elbow for quite a while.
We had an email about, Oliver the, Humanzi. For those that didn't watch it, there was a documentary last night about a chimp that was supposedly a human, or was half human, or might seem
programme ever.
Yeah.
For a week, Carl has been saying it's gonna be brilliant.
I wish he was here
and he's not here to discuss it, sadly, but, Lee Cranston has emailed in and, says, I thought the best part of the Oliver programme was the guy Vincent Pace, the camp fella at the piano, telling how he first met Oliver. Quote, he grabbed his female owner, turned her around and bent her over and went to mount her. I made her an offer to buy him the next day. Vincent was then shown in a very nostalgic mood playing melancholic music. He obviously wanted some monkey action.
He really, that's,
I mean, it is potentially liable.
That's liable. It's a joke there, but...
I don't take any responsibility for what Lee Cranston says, or indeed the fact that he puts at the end, did he want to turn Oliver into a gay pansy? Question mark. That's Lee's thoughts and opinions, they don't necessarily reflect those of XFM.
He sees the chimp mount a human and go, I've got to have that chimp. I must have that chimp. Oh, poor Carl. Where is he?
As you mentioned earlier, he was very well endowed, apparently. I didn't see it myself.
It was a big
boy.
chimp.
Sure.
A big half boy. A big half boy, half chimp.
Okay.
Right. I just called Carl again. I've been calling him all the time, trying to get through to him, right? He's changed his message, so he is listening, and I've got proof. So, can you just call the number, Claire?
Yeah.
Right, call this number. Now listen to this. This is really annoying.
No, that this is not an amusing sketch or setup.
No.
What's happening there, Claire? Not quite happening for you?
No, that's alright. We'll try that again.
Try that again, Claire.
Yeah.
I'm livid now.
I'm genuinely annoyed, because you'll see, when you hear the message, you'll realise why. Right.
Okay, alright. Let's try again.
I don't know who he thinks he is now. I'm beginning to wonder if his minor celebrity is going to his head. All this nice write-up in Heat magazine.
Yeah.
It's changed him. Richard Anderson, incidentally, has emailed in.
Go on.
Dickers Anderson. It's not happening, is it, there?
Is it?
Why not?
Because I'm a bit stupid.
Why can't...
I can't work it out, can I?
Can't figure it out.
How would you call someone normally?
Well, normally I just pick up the phone and dial it.
Sure.
No, I don't mean... I mean...
But it's like I have a problem getting it through the desk. I tell you what, can I play an ad break and practice? Pretend this didn't happen, and then
in a weird way, it's like
having Carl. It's like having Carl play the ads.
I'll get back to you.
Bit of Snoop, never. And when did a bit of Snoop ever hurt anyone, Steve?
Absolutely. Right. I don't think.
Okay. Carl's away. He pulled the wool over Claire's eyes. There's a few people out there that believed he was ill. I knew he wasn't. In fact, at one point I thought, maybe he is ill. His message on his answer machine has changed in the last 5 minutes, and listen to it, and this is evidence that he's not ill, right?
Okay, here we go then.
Yeah.
If we don't read it out,
Yeah.
Richard Anderson, I should just say, has got in touch.
Okay.
Here we go.
Hold on.
There we go.
Oh, Claire!
No, I can do it. Just tell
All right.
Anderson.
This is ludicrous. Yeah. So obviously Richard Anderson, he's emailing his thoughts. Dickie Anders, Randy Anders.
You. Dickmeister General.
And he says there's something making. Have we got it clear? He says there's something making strange yelping noises in the thicket at the end of my garden. Shall I go and prod it to see if it's Karl?
I'll phone, sorry I'm not in today, but not well on that. No more Rockbusters. I think that's what's affected me. It's got me down a bit.
So joking, yeah.
The doctor said I'll be back swinging on my tyre in no time.
So.
See you later.
So he was listening.
He's clearly listening.
So he was listening because we said about swinging on the tyre.
Message.
At any time.
Right. Karl, call me. In fact, I'll tell you what, we'll play a little game. Karl would appreciate this. Call me, Karl, or I'm going to give out your number. What's the first 5 or 6 digits, Claire?
Well, it's 07968.
07968. Okay. Phone now, Karl. Start calling now. Right, give the next number, Claire.
You said
Give the next number.
1.
Make note of this, because if you want to call Karl yourself...
07968, and the first number to be given out is 1. He's not ill. How do you feel now, Claire? Because he's made a fool of you, because you believed him.
I actually
He's
felt
made a
really
monkey out of
sorry
you.
for him last night. But now, past hour, I feel a little bit let down.
Right, okay, so we give a number out every 5 minutes until Karl calls, because we know he's listening now. He's taking the piss. He's not ill, obviously, you can hear that. That was as long as a link, so he could have been here. He could definitely call.
Are we leaving this message? Is this a message we're still leaving on his phone?
We're still leaving it.
Good.
Yeah. Good, yeah.
Why don't we leave the rest of the show on his phone? As a message.
Leave it up.
He's got to listen through it all so he can delete it.
Yeah, exactly. And the other thing, of course, is that he's not going to get paid for this.
No.
So he's thrown away 80 quid.
That's £80.
Now, in Manchester, that's a week's wages, so he's obviously been spoilt. So for all his mank charm, he's down here, he's living the life of
He
riding.
thinks 80 quid's nothing.
He thinks 80 quid's nothing already.
You could be buying you could buy yourself your own horse.
Yeah.
You could probably get yourself a deposit on a flat.
I'd have thought so. I'd have thought so,
easily.
yeah. And so, or sun lamps, because it's always dark.
Yeah.
He could go mental up there. Now,
Piece of string.
So what's the first few digits we've given out?
07968.
Yeah.
That's
and then,
the code.
And then
we've got
1. Okay, we give out, a
number of Karl's phone number digits.
So take that down, because we love calling him. Should we have a little bit of feed or something?
Let me just tell you what Dick has said. He said, Richard Anderson, he also said, P.S. the show's still rubbish without Karl.
Still rubbish without Karl. Now, is that a compliment? It's still rubbish without Karl. Which suggests he thought it might be better without Karl?
No, I think he means it's equally rubbish.
Right. Brilliant.
Nothing changes.
Thanks, Dickers. Yeah, he's
nothing
Dickmeister. That's Feeder. Just the way I'm feeling. On XFM 104.9. Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, Claire Sturgis. Well, he's defying me. He's not calling in. We're gonna give out his number and he's not calling in. That's even more annoying. Who does he think he is?
I don't know who he thinks he is. I'll tell you who he is.
Yeah.
He is a little bold Mancunian.
Let's never let him forget that.
I don't know who he thinks he is, but there's the fact.
Just, Karl, call in, because you're annoying me and Steve. He's been slagging you off as well, Steve.
Well, go on, what's
in the week, he was slagging you off. I mean, in the week I was joining in and laughing along, but now I'm thinking now I'm thinking that you're more on my side than he is.
Thanks very much, Rick. I'm glad to see you've come round.
He said, I was in the pub with him and, Johnny.
Oh, right, so there's a little audience, good.
And he went, have you seen Men in Black 2? I went, no. He said, have you, Johnny? He went, no. He went, there's a thing in it that looks just like Steve. And I went, what? He went, it's a thing, it's got really gangly arms and bulbous eyes, and it just works really fast in the, aliens registration thing. And I went, alright. I said, we'll bring that up Saturday. Since he's not here, what do you think of that?
Well, the reason is that I think the problem I have is this, that if I was to say things like that about Karl, I'd destroy him. He'd be a broken man after I'd finished with him.
Call in, Carl, or Steve's gonna say a few things about you.
I'm gonna get a couple of home truths out there.
I can't believe it. I cannot believe it. Yeah, we were, you know, at the time I was joining it, we were having, you know, slagging you off on other things as well.
Sure,
But now I'm thinking, maybe
maybe you were wrong.
Maybe I was taking the mickey out of the wrong person behind their back. Oh, it was a co-write, was it? I thought you wrote well, there you go, learning something on XFM 104.9, Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, Claire Sturgis. No, Carl. Well, Carl's annoyed me. He's not playing, he's not ill.
Another digit from the number?
Yeah, just do one more digit, Claire.
You serious?
Yeah.
Yeah. 5.
Yeah, 5. Good.
5, so 1 5. Okay, great, we'll keep doing that. But I'll tell you what, the best revenge is living well.
Indeed.
Why don't we just do a brilliant remaining 50 minutes of show, and show the people that we don't need Carl.
High five. Let's do it.
You don't need Carl. Right, let's go, starting now, some brilliant stuff.
Oh.
You're gonna say something?
Yeah, no, I remember when I was growing up in Manchester.
No, you can't. It's funny to me. I tell you, XFM 2.9. I said no. I saw a weird thing. I saw we're in Leicester Square. I was coming through China. I saw a hairy Chinese kid.
No, I don't.
It was weird because they're not usually hairy, are they? Did I tell you about me Auntie Flora?
Is that supposed to be Manchester?
Did I Did I tell thee about me Auntie Flora, who shot herself for 3 hours once? Did I tell you? I don't. There was a woman born. Yeah, new one from Blur. Out of time. Only 3 now. Probably had a sort of Karl equivalent. Who sort of thought, well, I can't be bothered. Graham Cox and they're probably at home listening to that.
Exactly.
Playing guitar, and they calling and say, well, you could play along. He went, no, I'm ill.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm ill. Come on, Graham, if you're playing, I can hear you playing guitar now. No, I'm ill.
Yeah. Have they replaced Coxon?
No.
They haven't replaced him?
No.
Oh, right.
Well, they probably will do when they go on tour, but I think they aren't.
Yeah.
Well, I play guitar, I don't know.
That's true enough, you're pretty hot on the,
Diane, you want someone to,
Oh, actually, Steve,
strum along?
in answer to your question, for the live dates, it's one of the blokes from the Verve. Ex-Verve, remember?
Did she interrupt me again?
I think so. I'm a fear in it.
God, I can't
think I was talking.
Yeah, I don't know if you were...
You know, I might be mental, but I think I was talking.
Claire, when's your radio show on? Normally, when do you host a radio show?
Am I allowed to plug it?
Go on,
go on.
Just tell us.
Monday to Thursday, 9 p.m.
Right, maybe we'll come along and start talking over you.
No, I'm just wondering, Rick, who's listening at that time?
My
we've
mum
got a
is listening.
prime time which everyone is sat at home listening on a Saturday afternoon, Claire.
Yeah.
It's one of the best radio slots
no one's
in the
going
business.
to football matches or shopping or anything like that.
No.
I want a piece of the action, I need it.
Yes.
I need it.
Well, you've got it.
And they're playing a few dates here and there. Blur.
Good.
And that's off their new album probably with all the other songs and that.
Rick, I was watching TV last night. I think it might have been during the Monkey Show, actually, I'm not sure, but there's an advert, and it reminded me of a little crush that I just felt I should express, because I wonder if, I've often used the platform in the past to just express my feelings for people.
Yeah.
And I realised now, for many, many years, I've had a big crush on the Scottish Widow. From the Scottish Widow adverts. I just want to say to her,
Is it because she's sort of mysterious and hooded?
Partly that, it's also because I guarantee she's available.
Because she's just lost her husband.
She's a widow.
Yeah.
And I just think it's time to stop grieving. I think you've been grieving too long. I want to say to her, you're a beautiful lady.
She's probably got a big lump sum.
I'm thinking she's probably got a sizable amount of cash.
Yeah.
She's obviously got a lot of spare time on her hands, not working or raising kids because she's wandering across the moorlands most of the time.
Her kids are probably grown up.
I'm thinking it's time.
Or they turn to crack or something.
But I'm just saying this. I think it's just time to say, yes, he was a great man.
He was a good man.
He was a lovely guy.
He worked hard.
He's gone. It's time to move on. He wouldn't want to see you like this.
No.
Still grieving after 25 years.
No, he'd want to see her being humped by a big lanky thing with steamed up glasses, I reckon.
I'll be honest with you, he hasn't got much say in the matter. He's dead.
Well, alright, don't get nasty.
And frankly,
she's still not over it.
She is squandering that money. She could be out, she could be in Europe, she could be in Barbados or Hawaii, she could be spending that cash, she could lose the hooded short and maybe slip into a nice bikini.
Do you know what? I think
she's kept herself in shape.
I reckon she's wearing nothing under that.
That's what I'm thinking.
Dirty, slut.
And I'm assuming, as she's Scottish, that he was a little bit thrifty.
She couldn't wait for him to go. She couldn't wait for the poor bloke to go.
He was obviously, I bet he was a little bit thrifty. He's probably got quite a lot stashed away that she's slowly working her way through.
Yeah. And I want to find out. I want to find out how he died.
Yeah, I'm intrigued.
Because if I find it's like, there was a roller skate on the top of the stairs,
Exactly.
I'm going to reopen the investigation.
If it was in any way suspicious.
Yeah. Yeah.
Questions.
Your husband's dead, and she went, oh no, where's the money?
Yeah.
Steve Merchant's outside.
Exactly. Yeah.
Built like a donkey.
Yeah. He's built like he's built like Oliver the chimpanzee.
Yeah, and he wants to get at it.
Yes. He's bought his tandem.
Yeah,
Hop on the back.
We're going off to the moors.
Yeah. He's gonna fly executive class.
Yeah.
His passport is valid.
I know
He knows that much.
He's got another 10 years on the passport. Well, I'll tell you what, the boys from Blur, they don't rock.
Sure.
Should we show them how to rock with a bit of Bad Company?
Do it.
It's a classic. Turn it up, Claire. Bad Company. Can't get enough of your love. I'm in a rock mood because
Yeah,
Carl's made my blood boil.
Yeah.
Really. I might even play a song, you're probably too young, called Spirit of the Radio by Rush. It's sort of like, for rockers, and people like that, it's like the ultimate sort of pomp, rock, progressive pop song ever. It's classic.
Yeah,
You might hate it, or you'll love it, or you listen to it ironically. I love it.
Well, you know, I was listening to Led Zeppelin recently. I never really understood the rock phenomenon before, but I just understand it now. It just gets in your blood. It's extraordinary. Crank it up loud, and it is just visceral and amazing. And, I wish I could play the guitar.
Sure.
Do you know what I feel like doing?
What?
Writing a little sort of hymn or a ballad.
About to Karl?
To Karl.
Yeah.
We've tried threatening him. That's not worked.
Give out one more digit. We got half hour to go. Because they're 3 digits, so it's what is it?
07968.
Yeah.
15.
Next digit, please.
7.
Okay, 157.
I hope you're making a note of that. You'll be able to phone Karl, leave messages, tell him what you think of him. Unless he phones. He can stop this at any time by just simply calling here in the studio.
He can just call and say, okay, he can just call and say, please don't give my number out. And I go, as I always do when I'm winding him up and I'm slapping his head and I'm sort of like spitting on him and stuff. Eventually he goes, shouts, stop it, and I go, well, you only had to ask.
Exactly.
So if he calls, I go, well, you only had to ask. On XFM 104.9. Well, we got through it without Karl.
I think so, yeah, I've enjoyed myself.
Didn't mention him much, did we?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think we need him.
I always quite enjoy it when he's absent, actually.
I know, because we can have a nice chat as opposed to him just going, remember when I had Chinese hair and there were old woman eating her own legs and my dad put a Forrest Gump in a wheelie bin.
Yeah. Claire brings a certain kind of level of class to it, dare I say that, you know. She's inept in her own way.
In her own way, yeah. I mean, there's no one, there's no one any good working there. I mean,
no,
there's no, like, proper, the only proper DJ is probably Camfield, I'd have thought, because he's nearly 13 now, and he's been in the he's been in the radio 12.5 years. See, he took they tested him, and he's half human, half Vance. which is quite
he's got quite a lot of. I think he's got the 48 chromosomes that Tommy Vance has got. That makes one Tommy Vance.
Tommy Vance, and a little bit extra.
Because one of those chromosomes is pure Jack Daniels. It's just Jack Daniels chromosome. It corresponds exactly to a Jack Daniels.
There's some Lemmy genes. I think you'll find
in there as well.
But although I'll tell you what, I share with Camfield a couple of loves. I agree that one of the greatest programmes of all time is Columbo.
Columbo is brilliant.
It is amazing. And they're showing them all. There's so many channels showing them now. I think Granada Plus show them. I think BBC show them. I think everyone's got a bit of it.
I think he's made 18,000 episodes.
Are they still making them though?
I think they keep turning up.
No, they did in the 90s. They're not quite as good, but I think the original ones, they're great. He's got this great character, and I share that with him. I do like a bit of rock. Should we play Rush? It's just Spirit of the Radio. I mean, we get canned by people who like new metal and Blur and that and those trendy bands, all that, the kids bands and that.
But you think this is pure?
Yeah, I don't think this would feature in X-Ray magazine, who've got some great bands in them. They've got Kaloop, they've got Demp, they've got Flap Nibble coming out with their new single, it's an EP, and Strep, the early, not the latest Strep, the early Strep, the unrecorded years, which is the only ones I like by Strep. And that guy in it, you know, the drummer, Kibble, he's got his own fringe. He's in for a chat, with Christian on the Breakfast Show, where you could win a trip to O'Neill's in Camden. This is Rush. Type of music. Okay, go to reggae, into rock. Okay, opera. Go mental now. Go mental on the drums. Double that. Double the how many bass drums have you got? Just the one. Go mental on it.
Yeah.
Right?
It is obscene.
That is everything in that, isn't it?
How long is it? Like 4.5 minutes.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
That's lovely.
People don't play music like that anymore.
There's only 3 of them. I just think of them. Yeah. There's that, and just one day in Canada.
Yeah.
They just went, right. We're only gonna make one single. Yeah. So let's put every type of music into that single.
It's almost like a Stars on 45 version of music of all time.
Of every music
rock they've heard.
Exactly. Yeah.
Brilliant. Are they still going? Do they still play?
I don't know. I've no idea. But that was for Camfield. There was Bad Company there and Rush for Camfield. Colombo. That was for Camfield as well. The A-Team. Do you remember once when we were talking about the A-Team and I was slagging it off on your show in the old XFM?
Yeah.
And I was going, I mean, I quite like the A-Team, but sometimes it's too far-fetched to enjoy without it being ironic or it being for kids. And, I could hear fuming from outside. I could feel him going, he didn't know who to call. He wanted to call Vance or someone or Lemmy. He didn't know, right? And then I said, if you can't find the A-Team, they outwit the might of the FBI every single week, but an old woman who's having trouble with her landlord can find them. Yeah. And the door burst open, and Campy went, that is because Hannibal sometimes disguises himself as an elderly Chinaman. And that was his explanation for the whole series. That was for Camfield.
That's lovely. That's for his 12th birthday, which is coming up very soon.
Oh, he's 13, yeah.
Teenager, yeah.
Oh, he's gonna rock, Steve.
Indeed.
Oh, the phone's going. Play that break, I'll answer.
Oh, it might be Carl.
Oh.
104.9 in London. XFM.
Wow, here's a bit of a turn up for the books. Karl Pilkington on the line.
Right.
Yeah, where you been?
I'm off ill, aren't I?
Right. Okay, what's the matter with you?
Just, a bit bunged up and that, and got the shakes, got that sort of, that shaky thing to get.
Yeah, that's because you didn't eat last time when Suzanne was at work.
Yeah, well I think that's what brought it on, plus she was away in the week and I put some wet jeans on. And I think that's what's caused the problem.
When did you put them on your head?
No, they were just on the Maiden and the legs felt dry, but
just on the what? On the what? Have you got the Maiden? What was she doing there? What do you mean?
On the Maiden that you put clothes on.
What? Your clothes horse?
Maiden.
Your clothes horse?
Well, yeah.
Right, okay, so you put wet jeans on, yeah?
So that's why I'm ill and that. I'm not having a good time, I've been watching the football.
So you're just sitting at home watching telly, where you could have been sitting here?
Well, I would have been better off there, because I've got a chair there. I've got no chair at home at the moment, because I sold it last week.
Why did you sell a chair?
What, you only had one chair?
What? Look, can't we just, I just was calling up to let you know I was alright and that.
We're not interested in that, we want to know about the chair.
I sold it, I had a little 2-seater, and I sold it because I'm getting a new one, but I've got to wait another month.
So you've got to sit on the floor for a month?
You sold a chair before you had another one?
Well, she might not have wanted to buy it in a month or something. So I got rid of it whilst I could, she was alright, buddy. We'll talk about that next week.
Oh, you're going to be in next week?
I look forward to that then. That's a dynamite piece of radio to tune in for. The day Carl sold a chair.
Brilliant.
Alright. So you alright then? It's going alright?
But why did you take this long to call? We asked you to call since the very beginning. We've been phoning you. Why is your phone switched off?
I heard the beginning. I heard the beginning of the show. I thought, yeah, it's going alright, the there and stuff. Turned it off.
You turned it off?
No, I put a tape in though, because even though I'm ill, I'm still showing an interest in it.
Well, you're not, if you're watching football and shaking.
Yeah, well, I'll listen back to it later, so I hope you haven't been dissing me.
No.
Right?
Definitely not.
Don't listen back to it, it's not worth it, but we haven't been dissing you, no.
And I've just been watching, a bit of football, right?
Did you watch the Monkey programme last night? You told us to watch the Monkey programme, we all stayed and watched the Monkey programme.
Alright, wasn't it?
Rubbish, wasn't it? Obviously not half chimp, half human.
No. I mean, they missed out a lot of the interesting bits.
They didn't have any interesting bits. Those are the bits that you made up to make it more interesting.
The bits that I told you about 3 months ago before they decided to make the programme.
Yeah.
What were the bits that you came up with?
Well, they missed out the bits about, you know, the zookeeper.
Right, there wasn't a zookeeper, yeah, go on.
Well, there was, but they left that bit out.
Well, okay, fine. And they left out the bit where it ran from there in 1975.
In terms of those that did research, they actually went and filmed it, you read it on the internet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Chances are you're the one with the facts wrong.
Yeah, I think they also left out the bit when it jumped over 3 double-decker buses on a motorbike.
On Evel Knievel's motorbike.
Yeah. So, I can't believe it. I cannot believe it. Not only do you not bother turning up, but you turn off the radio and start watching football.
Yeah, I turned it off, I've recorded it, I'll listen back later and sort of...
Well, what good is that?
Sort of, I like to keep it in shape and that. I'll have a word next week.
Alright. If you receive any phone calls from people you don't know, we don't know anything about that. Instantly, we don't know why that is happening. That is just gonna be a weird, spooky thing, so...
And don't bother telling the story about, Men in Black 2 either, because I don't think people will be interested.
Actually, on the subject of Men in Black 2... What?
Have you seen that, Steve?
No, I haven't, Carl. Tell me about it.
You should see it.
Go on. Why?
Because there's this thing in it.
Go on. What, a stupid, bald Mancunian tosser?
No, weirder than that.
There isn't anything weirder than that.
Big eyes, it was gangly.
Keep talking.
And, you've got to see it, because you wouldn't believe how the likeness and that. You've got to get the film out tonight.
Right.
It's not as weird, it had a normal voice, right?
He's done you and he's not even here!
I'll tell you what, mate, it ain't worth coming in next week.
Oh, stay on the line, Carl. Play a record player. Kings of Leon, Molly's Chambers. What do you think of that, Carl?
Alright.
There's a surprise.
Another
insightful remark.
Steve is not a fan now. Not only does he know you've been slagging him off behind his back.
No, I wasn't slagging Steve. If you get it out on DVD tonight, you'll know I'm not slagging you off. It could be your brother.
I love the fact that it makes it worse, but he's thinking you're gonna go, oh, he wasn't slagging me off. It does look like me. I do think I'm an alien. I love the fact that you hope Steve will go, he's got a point. It's a spitting image. Yeah.
I am, seriously, Carl, I'm really angry. I'm so angry with you at the moment.
You haven't seen it yet?
No, I know, because I know what it's gonna be, and I'm just...
Why?
I'll tell you why I'm angry, because he doesn't do it in jest.
No, but what do you think it's gonna look like? What do you think this thing's gonna look like?
Gonna look ludicrous. It's not gonna look anything like me, but he's gonna, like, pretend it does. Go on, what? Go on.
No, it does look like you.
Yeah, of course it does. And you look like the, Human Z.
Well...
I mean, to be honest, you did a bit, Carl. You walk like him, you're bold like him, you got a sort of gormless face like him. Any more?
I don't smoke. That does. I'm not arguing with you, I'm not well on that.
Oh, you're not well.
What exactly is wrong with you? You whinger.
Well, it's just, do you know, like I always tell you about the, restless leg syndrome I've got? It's like that, but all over.
So you're just shaking around the house?
I'm just, yeah.
What do you look like, Elvis? What are you doing, you're shaking around the house?
I'll tell you, with your bald head, you're probably like an enormous vibrator.
Oh, God.
That's what you probably look like if you strip naked.
Oh, you'll have the Scottish widow coming round. Oh, dear.
That's, what's her name, by the way? I heard you talking about that. That's,
Amanda Lamb.
Amanda Lamb, who's in the Place in the Sun programme.
Is she actually a widow? Is she a Scottish widow?
Hoots, man, my husband's dead. Do you want any money and a bit of my clam?
Brilliant. Alright, that's the sort of, quality you've missed out on today. Well, anyway, you're gonna be back next week. We need you back next week.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, how do you know? Also, how did you know you were going to be ill today? Because you phoned and arranged this yesterday.
Convenient.
And I spoke to you yesterday and you didn't sound very ill.
I felt ropey yesterday.
You've got a bit of a bunged up nose.
Even though
I have a bit of a bunged up
even though I was ill, I still sorted it out.
Yeah? I'm a little bit sweaty.
Paul, sorting out does not mean you phone up Sturgis and send her down.
That's not sorting it out, that's making things worse. Have you learnt nothing?
Thanks, Claire.
If you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. one.
Yeah. My leg's a little bit achy.
Oh, wearing wet jeans.
Oh, I put wet jeans on again. My lasagna it was frozen.
Can you hear the venom and hatred in our voices today? We genuinely are upset and angry with you.
Yeah. Can't believe it. I cannot believe that
Right, well, the thing is, we'll be back to normal next week, right? We've got Billy Elliot doing the film next week.
Right.
Any prizes?
Got some good stuff.
Have you got any films with Burt Reynolds in to give away on VHS?
And I'll see you then.
Great, we're looking forward to it already.
I'll see you later.
See you later. Hot heat, bandages, XFM, we're off, innit?
That's it, it's all over.
Yeah.
Back next week.
Yeah.
Thanks, Claire.
Bye.
Total respect.
Yeah,
Yes.
nice one.
Keep it real.
See ya.
XFM.
Christchurch, Dorset. That's a complete and utter lie. Christchurch, Dorset. Because I still have a friend that's from Christchurch. That's a complete and utter lie. Dorset. Christchurch, Dorset. Christchurch, Christchurch, Dorset. Christchurch, Christchurch, Dorset. Christchurch, Dorset. Like, where were you born and raised? You were like Christchurch, Dorset. Christchurch. 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 Christchurch, Dorset. Christchurch. 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 Christchurch, Dorset. Christchurch. Christchurch, Dorset. Christchurch. Christchurch, Dorset.